a night of readings about twice a month per some of your requests. If you're just joining us on Facebook, we have an angel program that you can get on at melindavail.com, where you can join me twice a month for a night of readings and also for some special guests and some classes, and we all have a really great time. So I just want to tell you that last week James Von Prague was with us. It was absolutely wonderful. I know we had some technical difficulties. You know, I know it is aggravating. It's aggravating to me for sure. But sometimes electronics and energy don't like each other. I used to tape readings, and then I would not get a tape on one and get a tape on another. So people would get upset with me, and I learned really fast that if you wanted to have a tape, you had to tape it yourself. Otherwise, I'd get blamed for it because, again, sometimes electronics and energy don't like each other. So I just want to tell you that Diary of a Mad Medium, my new book, is coming out on November 16th. I will be at Changing Hands Bookstore with James Von Prague. His new book, The Wisdom of Your Spirit Guides, is coming out as well. We will be together at Changing Hands 6 p.m. on Thursday the 16th. And then, of course, we still want you to join us on the 17th and on the 18th at the Omni Resort. Last year we had a wonderful time, and we're looking forward to this year also having a good time. I also wanted to have this opportunity to thank Marianne from Eric's house. I was with her last weekend doing some suicide prevention and awareness, and got a chance to talk to a lot of people who lost loved ones through suicide. So I have some people waiting on the phone. I'm going to take as many questions as I can, but I also have some questions here that have been emailed. So I'm going to start with my first question. And this person says, I'm really hoping you can reach my son Maverick. He's been gone 16 months yesterday, so he just had his heavenly birthday. Just really need to ask him to come talk to me in my dreams or meditations or naps. How is he? Will I be able to hug him ever again? So, first of all, I want to tell you that I'm very sorry that you lost your son. And as an evidential medium, I want to connect into him just a minute and make sure that I've got his energy. I'm getting the name Albert, or Alan around him, so I don't know, because we're not on the phone today, whether there's evidence of that, but there's something about being bullied or being put in a position where he felt like he was less than. His self-esteem had some issues, and I do think that he left the planet. He transitioned through his own hand. He's showing me both a dove and an angel.
Yes, we are. We're on Facebook.
So those things being said, I want you to know that he does share time with you.
And did you want to talk to Melinda?
Sometimes when we're in the deep grief process, our loved ones are making a connection with us in ways that we don't recognize. And he does try to reach you. He's saying something about a birthday cake, a Jessie or a Jessica, and a Lori, and a Lisa. He is telling me to tell you that he is not only safe, but he is working on
Would you like to call back then?
Being in balance and trying to connect in with you. I think that you need to look for butterflies and hummingbirds, little wings, but doves seems to be, a dove and an angel seems to be the wings that I'm getting as a sign for you. The answer is yes, of course, you'll be able to hug him again. And yes, of course, he is coming to you in your dreams, meditations, and naps. But just give yourself some time. Just give yourself some time, because sometimes that grief process is an inhibitor for you to make that connection. So I hope that I gave you some connection to him tonight, and that you know that he was talking to me.
Okay, hold on.
My next question is from somebody who says, my question is, why do I wake up at 3:33 every night without fault? And do you see anything around me? Well, two things. First of all, if you are calling with a question, if you would please ask a specific, that would help narrow it down, and also we could get to more people that way. But I will address the 333 because that's all about synchronicity, numerology, and so on and so forth. So the waking up at a certain time every night is kind of like a message from spirit. You know, Wayne Dyer often talked in his, I think it was his last book, about when you wake up at a certain time every night, that's your time to get up and do something creative or connect in with yourself or do something that, you know, kind of pulls you in within. But threes, body, mind, and spirit. A 333 would be a 9 in spirituality. 9 is a number that equals the avatars. Buddha's number vibrates out to a 9. Jesus Christ's name is a 9. 9 is about moving into a place of connecting with your higher power. So I think when you're waking up at 3:33, you are getting nudged from spirit to maybe do a little bit of writing or a little connection with the other side and understanding yourself at that level. So that's what the 3:33 means. Do I see anything around you? Yes, I see some healing arts energy around you. I think you might be in the healing arts, or you're drawn to the healing arts, or you do something with healing arts. And if you aren't, I think you need to. There's a teacher in your energy field, so I think teaching, or you might be a teacher, and or you might be getting classes because there's a teacher in your energy field. So those are the two things that I see around you, and thank you for your question. We're going to take questions on the phone here in just a minute, but my last question here via email is from somebody who says, hello, I am wanting to know how my son is doing. He passed September 30th, 2016, so he just had a heavenly birthday also. I would like to visit with him in a dream or any other form of a visitation. My name is Mary and my son is Ryan. Again, Mary, I'm very, very sorry that you lost your son. And I am going to say something very similar to you, as I said to the first email, and that is, you know, it's raw, it's recent, and it's still a matter of you being in the grief process. When we're in the grief process, even though our loved ones are showing us signs and signals, we don't often see them or get them in the same way because we're still in that deep mourning process. I do get the name Michael. I do get the name John. I do get something with someone that's with him from the other side that had a uniform, maybe military, fire, police, a uniform. I do also think that Ryan is reflecting on some of his life and working on some things with him. He's showing me a dog, so I don't know if there was a dog that was important to you or to him or to both of you. He's telling me to tell you that he loves you very much, that he's that he is trying to reach you also, the same as our first boy Maverick. They are trying to be in touch. And it actually feels like there was some similar energy of having some, you know, self-esteem issues or some emotional feelings of not being good enough or not being able to make it on the planet. Both of you ladies, if you would write with your non-dominant hand, it opens up your other opposite side of the brain. And sometimes if you're right-handed, which I think you both are, and you work with your left hand, it'll open up that right side of your brain where you may be able to open up that passage of creativity to get that flow from spirit. Remember this, you guys, that spirit always there's something about a tattoo and there's something about a baseball cap. Somebody wore a lot of baseball caps, and somebody is doing something with a memorial tattoo. And one of these boys, because now I have them both here, one of these boys just showed me like a smiley face, like a signature that was a smiley face. If that resonates with you at all. And so I just want you to know that they're both kind of pinging my brain right now, and both of them are kind of talking. So remember that spirit often comes to you with, you know, butterflies and hummingbirds and little things, but also coins is a way. Just like this second caller, synchronized numbers is a way that spirit can talk to you. Music is a way that spirit can talk to you. So I hope that I answered your email questions. You're welcome to give us a phone call if you want an additional question. We do have a couple people on the line, so I am going to ask Bill to give us a transfer here, and so that we can talk to our people on the telephone. And in the meantime, again, I want to tell you that we are going to start doing these nights of readings on the 1st and the 3rd Wednesday of the month, and then we will still have some of our classes, some of our guests, and some of those other things that we present regularly. And Dr. Duff will be back with me at that time. So Bill's just getting some things organized on the phone so he can transfer some questions over, and then we'll be ready for those questions. So I'm just looking at him to see if he's got the phone up and running. So he's going to transfer that right now.
Actually, no, that won't transfer. You'll have to take it right from here.
Take it right from there? Very good.
And I'll have you up and running in just a moment.
Okay. Hi, this is Melinda. How can I help you? Hi, Debbie. How are you? Let me see if I can put you on speaker from this, Deb, okay? So that everybody can hear you. Bill, is there a speaker on this phone?
Yes.
Okay, Bill's going to just put you on speakerphone, honey. You've been on my mind, Debbie. I feel there's something about a surgery or somebody in the hospital. Did you get that on speaker?
Yes.
There's something about a surgery or somebody in the hospital around you, Debbie. Can you tell me what that is? Hello? Debbie, can you hear me? Oh, hand me the phone back. Is there something about a surgery or somebody in the hospital around you, Debbie? Can you tell me what that is? I think we've lost her. We lost Debbie. Okay, call back, Debbie. Call back. I think we lost you. Do we have another caller coming in?
In just a moment, we will.
Okay. So, Debbie, while you're calling back, I want to tell you that I'm getting something with a hospital and a surgery around you, and something with somebody that's had some health issues. I'm also seeing a lot of water around you. I don't know if you've been going. I know that you do go to the lake sometimes, but I do see some water around you. I don't know if you've been spending some time at the lake. And I know that you're wrestling with some decisions in your life, both relationship-wise and maybe where you're going to live or what you're going to do with your life. I think that, I do recognize, Debbie, that you had your own surgery a couple of months ago or last year, but I'm getting something else with somebody else with surgery. So if that resonates with you and you can call us back, we appreciate that, and so that we can get you back on the line and make sure that we're answering your questions. And I think we have another caller coming through. We have another caller coming through, Bill. We're going to get that other caller right now.
Hello.
Okay, so we're going to wait for our callers to give us a holler here, and I'm going to talk to you a little bit about karmic profiling, because that's what my new book is about. Karmic profiling isn't just about the blatant energies that happen to you when you're a child or what's coming through your DNA. Your karmic profile has a lot to do with the subtle energies, things that we don't recognize that give us a message system, ways in which we are taught something that we can't put our finger on until we go back and really scrutinize the energy that was given to us as children. So that we know what we're doing with our karmic profile and those repetitive patterns as adults. So it's not just like if you're a child of an alcoholic that you then marry another child of an alcoholic, or you marry an alcoholic. There are much more subtle energies than that are involved, much more subtle energies. So what you have to do with your karmic profile is you have to look back at what the message system was that your parents gave to you when you were young, what the message system was that your teachers gave to you, what the message system was that your grandparents gave to you. Where you live has to do with your karmic profile. I was raised in New York, so sometimes I am talking and people will think that I'm being rude, but I'm not being rude at all. I'm just being a normal New Yorker, and other New Yorkers get me. But if you're from Kansas or from Washington or California or Texas, you might not think that I am being you might think that I'm being rude, actually. So you have to watch where you're from. So different areas of the country have a different vibrational frequency. Canada has a different vibrational frequency. Europeans have a different vibrational frequency. That's all involved in your karmic profile. And when you start understanding your karmic profile, you have to start making kind of like a flow chart of different things. Where were you raised? Were you raised by two parents? Were you raised by a mother and a stepfather. You know, my generation is multiply married. So sometimes kids in the 20s and 30s were raised by more than one stepfather. And, you know, when I first was divorced and my kids were young, my kids are now 36 and 38, they went into a banana splits program in New York where they were taken out of the classroom and talked to with a group of kids that had divorced parents. But they were the only kids taken out of their classroom. Now, you know, it's rare for you to have parents that have stayed together. So it's very interesting to look at those subtle energies and how they work in your life. So you have to understand how that karmic profile works. The other thing is when we're looking at the karmic profile of suicide, because I did get some questions on suicide tonight, sometimes that suicide energy also goes through generations. Like, for example, it's, you know, maybe bipolar energy starts in teenage life. So if a child starts to have some bipolar feelings and they have hormonal issues on top of it and they're bullied and they feel different and there's issues around that, sometimes that bipolar stuff has come through some other generations. There may be an alcoholic in the background. There may be some other depression in the background. There may be some other personality disorder in the background. So a lot of it is dependent on what's in the background. You know, when I was talking to the suicide survivors last weekend through Eric's house, and I hope that these two ladies that wrote me will hear this, I wanted everybody to move from ownership to ownership. And that's a tough thing to do. And what I mean by that is when we're in ownership, when we're owning the event, the situation, the circumstance, when we're having it press so much within us, when we're having it be such a difficult thing, and of course it's a difficult thing. I'm not trying to minimize that. We're not always honoring the karmic profile or the level of what the other spirit, whether it was our son, our brother, our sister, our father, our mother, is doing. And so we have to move from ownership and owning that situation to ownership, honoring what we're supposed to get from each other. If you believe in life after life, which of course I do because I talk to the people on the other side all the time, when you believe in life after life and you know that your loved one, Ryan and Maverick, are safe on the other side and you can still have a relationship with them, you have to move into a place of forgiveness of both you and the person that left and the circumstances of why they left. You have to move into forgiving the circumstances even, or maybe the misunderstandings around it, so that you both as spirits can move forward, not just your sons on the other side, but also you. And I'm not talking about moving forward in a way in which you negate what happened, or moving forward in a way in which you are not feeling the impact of that. You'll always feel the impact of that. But I'm talking about moving the ebb and flow of the energy so that when you process it, you can process it in a way that you can develop that relationship with your child on the other side. And that's so important. So I want you to think about moving from ownership to ownership and seeing what you can do about shifting the energy. We have a phone call coming in, Bill. So when you move from ownership to ownership, it helps free both you and your loved one on the other side in a way in which you can have, again, a direct connection, maybe without a medium.
It's
and
wild.
With a medium, it's a little bit different because I don't know your child and I may get something that only you guys knew and I don't. So it may be that that's great to visit a medium once in a while. You know, I have a hard time talking to some of my loved ones on the other side because you're never quite sure whether it's your voice or it's truly the voice of your loved one because your ego gets involved. Yeah. So yes, we have a phone call, Bill.
Hey, Deb.
Debbie, did you call me back, honey?
Hello, Deb. Hello, Deb.
Seems we're having a little bit of trouble with our phone lines tonight, so If you guys want to ask some questions
Hey,
to
Deb,
Facebook,
are you there?
might be able to find
Let me try and
a way
put you on
to.
speaker, okay?
Okay, he's going to try it again.
Okay, thanks.
There we go. Hi, Deb.
Hi, I'm back.
Hey, honey. I was just talking about suicide, and we're live on Facebook tonight, and a couple of ladies had written to me about their sons. Both sons have a recent heavenly birthday. I know that your son has been passed over for how long, Dad?
10 years now.
10 years. And I was talking about moving from ownership to ownership, which is really sounds like a hard thing to hear. How do we honor that our son is on the other side? But I think you've really been able to accomplish that. You've been able to move into a place where you're connecting with your son in a different way and honoring the fact that you and he had the time together that you had, and that his journey was to move across, and that your journey is to stay here and move on. I just wanted to mention that because I think you give people hope that it's possible to move from ownership to ownership. Yes, Deb?
I hope so.
Yeah.
I tried.
It never goes away.
It's the hardest thing for a mother to understand or to hear from anybody, but maybe from another mother who's gone through it and who's actually survived the worst day of her life and the worst years of her life without her child, that maybe I can give somebody hope.
Yeah. Yeah, and so what I'm trying to explain is it just never goes away, but it can move in a little bit of a different direction, and so that it's not, such a heavy blanket to carry along with you. It can move in a direction that's a little bit lighter, right, Deb?
Absolutely, you get to experience a whole new way of relating to a child.
Yeah, because your child is still alive. He's just out of the suitcase.
Way, it's a special bond, and it'll never be broken, and it's true because you form a totally new relationship,
right?
A totally new way of communicating, a totally new way of living,
right?
Because you have to, because we're still here.
That's right. It's a totally different relationship, but it's still a relationship. Your child is still alive. They're just out of the suitcase. The suitcase is just the body that houses the spirit. You can still make that connection. And there have been times over the course of our angel program together, Deb, that your son has come in and talked. These ladies just emailed me, so I didn't have their voices to see if they were getting something out of what their voice were saying. But I certainly hope that if these ladies did, they will write to us, and we will be able to share that with you next week. Now, you were calling earlier.
I have confidence that they will, because you have been right the entire time. Anytime you've come through, you've been right.
Well, thank you.
So I hope they do let you know.
Thank you, Debbie. So we cut you off, and I'm sorry. And I was saying that I know that you had surgery yourself, but I'm seeing something else with somebody else that was in the hospital and had surgery. Was there somebody around you that had surgery that was in the hospital?
Yes, I was a friend. It'll be a week tomorrow that he had surgery.
And everything's okay, yes?
Yes, he's doing really well.
Yes, it feels like he's doing really well and will continue to do well. And then I was saying that I actually saw you, like I know that you love water because I've seen it before, but I was seeing water around you, so I don't know if you've been recently going out. You're in upstate New York, so the leaves must be absolutely beautiful right now, but are you going near the lake? Are you out in the water? There's something about water around you right now.
Yeah, Phil and I were just out the water today, and we haven't been in over a week.
Oh, nice.
And I just had this feeling I needed to be by the water today, and that's where we wanted to sit for a couple hours.
Good. Now, last week when James was on, you asked a little bit of question, and we kind of were moving quickly through being out of time there. And your question was something about feeling confusion of some kind. I think that was your question.
Yeah. So,
what is it that are you confused about the relationship? Or are you confused about where you're going in your life? Both of those things feel like they're in front of you that you're trying to figure out to me.
It is both of them.
Okay. So your relationship, first and foremost, is interesting because it kind of goes up and down and in and out. Like, seems like you and Bill are friends and lovers and then just friends and then not and then who knows and what next and how do you figure this thing out kind of thing. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
And I recognize that Bill suffers from a disease I call MAN. He's not a very good communicator. And I think the communication is the biggest issue, but it still seems to me that you are spending time with each other, almost like he's a new man coming up, and like I don't know how to explain it to you. It's almost like there's something that feels new about it to me.
Yes, definitely.
So I think in that newness that you're still going to give Bill some kind of a chance to stay connected to you. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yes.
Okay. What is the North or South Carolina energy? Maybe I'm in Georgia.
Oh.
I'm down in the southeast is where I am. What is that energy?
That was one of the places I had chosen. I was to leave New York State. That's where I was going to go.
But you're not going to leave New York now.
I'm not sure. That's kind of still up in the air.
It feels to me like even though it's up in the air, if you do make some kind of shift or move, it won't be for a while. It feels like it's still maybe almost a year out, Deb.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I think you were thinking about doing it at the first of the year, but I don't think you will.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Well, that's okay too, because we need more time to get things settled. Yeah.
Okay.
Makes sense.
All right. So I don't think it's quite as soon as you think it is my point.
Okay. All right.
Do you know who Daniel or Danielle or Danny is? Dan?
I know a Danielle.
How do you know Danielle?
She grew up with my son.
She grew up with your son?
Yes.
Oh, I know your son's name, Sean. So he just threw something at me to let me know he was standing behind me here, okay? All right. He's saying something about, what is he saying? Munchkin? Something Munchkin? Munchkin. I think he's talking about a dog. Is there a little dog? A Munchkin, a little dog.
Oh, yeah, I have two of them, yeah.
Okay, he's calling him a Munchkin. I don't know why he's calling him a Munchkin.
Okay, yeah, he's very tiny. He's like a pound and a half.
Oh, well, then he's a little Munchkin, isn't he? Okay, all right.
He's a little Munchkin, yeah.
Yeah. So, and it feels like when your son is around, sometimes the dogs can see him. And there's somebody with a color for a name, green, maybe. Brown, but I think it's green. Do you know who that is? Green?
Yeah.
Who is
green.
Who is that, please?
The one is actually my doctor.
One is your doctor?
Uh-huh.
Okay, so have you been going to your doctor? If he's jumping, now he's jumping from the Munchkin to your doctor, he's jumping for a reason. Has there been a recent trip to your doctor?
It was over the summer.
Okay, but was that just a follow-up on what you had?
Yeah.
Okay.
She's still on the beach tonight. Yeah, I did mention the other day that I should go back to the doctor because there's a few things I've been avoiding taking care of.
Okay. So he's mentioning the doctor for a reason, so I guess you should take care of him, okay?
Okay.
All right. And then one other thing, Mark.
Okay, Mark is Danielle's little brother, yeah.
Oh, he's really on Danielle and Mark for some reason. Maybe she's been getting a connection to him recently, or he's been spending some time with them, since he gives me the whole family. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, okay. Do you know who had a drug issue?
Who had one?
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Who was it, darling?
He knew a few people.
And has someone who had the drug issue crossed over recently, or don't you know?
I'm not sure, but I'm not really sure about that.
Okay. And do you know who Dylan is? Dylan?
At the minute, I don't.
Okay. So it must be somebody around Danielle and Mark would be my guess. You know, he wants you to go to the doctor. He wouldn't have given me his last name. He's saying that it's not quite time for you to move. It feels like you and Bill are still spending quite a bit of time together. So what is the confusion, darling?
The confusion was whether I should actually make the move and actually move out of state and just, walk away from what I know, the only thing I know, which is New York State, and start fresh, which would mean leaving everybody and everything behind.
Well, you know what I always say to everybody, Debbie, is that, your personality goes with you wherever you go.
Yep.
And what I mean by that is that in order for you to move in a way that makes for balance, it's really about you resolving anything that you need to resolve where you are. To me, moving somewhere, especially from New York State to Carolinas, which is a very different cultural energy, you have to be very clear that you're moving to go to something rather than away from something.
Than away from, yeah.
So
I think that's where the confusion came in.
Yeah.
A lot of it, because a lot of it had to do with things that have happened in the past couple months.
Yeah.
And it was a yes, I'm going to do it, and it was a no, maybe I better wait. That was a, I'm not sure. And it was that kind of a ride. Yeah,
I honestly think, honey, you should give yourself just a little bit more time before you make that decision. It just doesn't feel like it's the right decision at this moment in time. I still feel like the beginning of the year is too quick and that you're still working through some other things. I find it interesting that your son gave me your doctor's name. I think perhaps he's telling me that that's been a good doctor for you, and you want to make sure that you're totally back on your feet from everything that you've been through before you make that. I also find it interesting that he gave me two people in the same family. So I think that probably you're going to hear something about or from or around that family, and that, he is kind of watching and observing everybody. So I hope that I answered your question better than we did last week, sweetheart.
Yes, it was really last week. Last week it was not only quick, but I had a really hard time hearing you guys and everything, and I felt really bad at the time, and I was like, oh, geez, I felt bad on my end too. So.
Well, we had our system up working perfectly, and then for whatever reason, between James's energy and my energy, we kept losing our Skype connection because James was in California. But I do want you to know, Deb, that we are going to live stream our event in November. So even from New York, you can join and see. And we will be presenting a workshop that there will be a DVD available afterwards so that everybody can get from both James and I what we would be teaching that day.
Oh, how nice. So you are going to live stream you and James together again this year?
We're going to do the DVD is what we're going to do.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay,
we're going to stream it onto a DVD, and then I misspoke. We're going to stream it onto the DVD rather than what we did last year with the live stream, and then you'll be able to get the DVD.
Okay. Sounds great.
Yeah, because James does a wonderful job teaching, and his new book, Wisdom of Your Spirit Guides, I'm really looking forward to.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So.
Okay. Looking forward to your new book also.
Thank you, Deb. You have a nice evening. Take care.
You too. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. If you have a question for me, it's 602-875-0444. That's 602-875-0444. And we just have another question coming in now. So let's see who's next for us.
Who's this, please? Okay, Cheryl, please hold. It'll work.
Okay. Oh, it'll work now? Oh, good. Oh, goody. We got this working. Holy mackerel. Yay. Finally. Okay. What do? I hit this one. Transfer it over. Okay. Transfer it over in just a minute. We'll be right on the line with you.
There you go.
Okay. Hi. Hi.
Hi.
Cheryl.
How are you? Good. How are you?
Cheryl.
Good. Thank you. Good.
You have a really nice voice.
Oh, thank you.
You have a you have a real honest energy about you. You have a lot of integrity in lots of things, Cheryl. You've got some insecurity in certain ways. No offense the way I'm saying it to you, but that insecurity, if you could just let that go, I mean, you've got some amazing energy. Do you mind my telling you that? Voice vibrations hold so much. I don't know why I'm looking at the phone instead of the camera. Voice vibrations hold so much energy, and yours is a really sweet essence. You've got a sweet essence.
It's probably because I'm talking to you and I'm excited.
Well,
I love talking to you.
Well, thank you for talking to me and that you're excited. So, Cheryl, what is your question?
I have like a housing issue going on right now with a landlord. I actually own the house, but I don't own the property, and we have a legal issue going on, and I'm a little worried about that.
I am too. Let me look at the energy around it, because it feels, I'll tell you how it feels energetically, Cheryl. It feels what I'm going to call it convoluted, like it's murky, like there's nothing clear about it. It's murky. And so it depends a lot on how you all work it through. It's almost like one of those land lease things with the house on it.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's a land. Is it like a land lease, like you lease the land but not the house?
Right. I own the house. It's like a modular home, and I own the house,
right.
But I still pay rent to the person who owns my landlord who owns the property.
The land. It's like a land lease. Yeah. Okay. And
right.
John. Do you know who John is, by the way?
John, my father.
Yay, okay, I'm in your energy field. Woohoo, girl. Okay, so,
okay.
I always make sure I'm in your energy field, right? Okay, so, I don't think your landlord is an extremely nice person.
No, he's not.
And I think he's got ulterior motives or an agenda around this situation.
Mm-hmm. Yes, he definitely does.
Yeah.
It's a 55 and older community, and he, to put it mildly, he takes advantage of the seniors here.
Oh, to put it mildly. And interestingly, yeah. I wrote the word, when I first got it, I wrote the word mother and then John. So, I don't know, does it have anything to do with your mother?
Yes, my mother used to own it, and she moved out.
Okay, all right.
They gave it to me, so
oh boy.
That's why I'm here.
And you're younger than 55, I'm feeling.
Yes.
In fact, you're way younger than 55, right, honey? You're in your 40s?
Yes.
Okay.
No. I just turned the big 50.
Oh, well, close enough. Give me a break, Cheryl. Okay. All right. The big 50. Oh, my God. And I turned the big 60 many years ago, Cheryl.
Oh, that's okay. I could do like 49 again.
There you go. I think you're going to have a problem, Cheryl. I wish I could give you a better answer. Have you consulted an attorney?
Yes.
Because what I'm getting here is attorney. I think you're going to have to consult an attorney, and I think he's going to do whatever he needs to do to make it difficult for you.
Yes, that's him. That would be him.
Okay. And he does it just because he's one of these guys who likes power and control. If he was in the movie business, he'd be Harvey Weinstein. You know what I mean? He just wants power and control. It's an ego thing for him.
Right.
So I'm really afraid that it might turn out that you're going to have to sell that, or that you're going to have to do something legal to get him off your case, because I do think he's going to pressure you and continue to pressure you.
Well, I plan on taking the pressure. I'm just hoping that the lawyer I hired is a little smarter than his lawyer. So.
What's your lawyer's name? First name, please.
I don't even know. I only know the last name.
Okay, give me the last name. It'll still vibrate for me.
Leon.
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 Well, your lawyer is smart, by the way. Okay, I got a couple names here. Do you know who Richard Dick is? Richard Dick.
My uncle.
Yay!
I have an uncle.
Okay, woohoo! Still in your energy field. Okay, all right, honey. So because I'm still in your energy field, Leon does feel like a good lawyer, but man, oh man, you are going to have to fight this SOB. Okay.
Yeah, I figured so.
Yeah. And I don't know why it feels like you might consider selling it at some point here, Cheryl, but that's what it feels like. Are you on the East Coast?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I'm in Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania. Where in PA are you, darling?
The Pocono area.
My favorite. I used to work in Scranton and Wilkes-Barre.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
I used to sell real estate ads for Harmon Homes magazine, before the internet.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. A beautiful area. I just feel like you're going to have to really fight him, Cheryl. It just feels like he is not going to give in easily. I guess I wish I could be, give you better news than that, but that's what it feels like. Okay.
No, that's okay in that area.
So,
all right.
interestingly,
about my father, John.
Yes. I was going to say, interestingly, I'm getting a little bit of a hit here from John. Okay. John is do you have a son? Do you have two sons?
Yes.
2 sons. Do you have 2 sons?
I have 3.
3 sons. I missed one.
3 sons.
Okay. For some reason, there's one son that your father seems to gravitate to, and I'm not saying that the other boys aren't good, okay? But for some reason, your father is on one of the boys. Is one of the boys struggling or having some issues, ADD or ADHD?
Michael. That would be my son, Michael.
Okay, so John holds space for him. John wants you to know that he's sorry. Do you know why your dad is sorry, sweetheart? Did he not always do what he wanted to as a dad?
Oh, no, definitely not. Definitely not. Maybe sorry for my struggles. I mean, financially, I was a lawyer and everything.
He's saying yes, yes, yes. Okay, he's saying yes, yes, yes. Because what he's saying is if he were here, he would have that result. He would help you.
Okay? No, definitely.
All right.
Definitely.
All right. Yeah. And there's another Michael that's dead.
Oh.
Mike.
I'm not sure.
Okay. All right. Sure. So, and Richard is John's brother?
Yes.
And is Richard on this side or the other side? And who had a problem with their heart?
He's on the other side. Heart, I'm not sure.
Okay, so something with heart, chest, diabetes, lungs. Who had the issue?
Okay, that's my father.
Okay, all right, good. All right, so John is saying he's with Richard. He spends time with Michael, but there's another Mike. I think they just called him Mike or Mickey. That was a friend of your dad's or a friend of them, John and Richard, together when they were young, okay? All right? Okay. And has somebody had some, like maybe arthritis, like in their hands or something?
The only one my aunt, but that would be on my mother's side of the path.
Oh, so that doesn't mean he hasn't seen your aunt on your mother's side, honey, okay? Because, when it can be like old home week up there, And do you know who Patrick, Patricia is?
On the other side?
I'm not sure.
Oh, Patty, Patricia, no, not offhand.
Okay, Cheryl, he's also giving me the name Pat, but I think that's around your mom.
Pat. I'm not sure.
What's your mom's name?
Dolores.
Does Dolores have a friend named Pat Patricia?
I'm not sure. She keeps herself pretty much.
Ask her who that is, because I know that he's saying that clearly, and everything else he said we got, okay? And what is your aunt's name that had the arthritis?
Alberta.
Oh, interesting. They bump into each other when they're around your mom.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? All right, and then one more. Simple one. Mary. Mary or Marie?
No.
Okay, I think those two are around your mom or her sister, okay?
Okay.
All right, sweetheart? And everything else made sense to you, so you'll figure those things out. In the meantime, just really work on that with the lawyer, because I think that's your best bet, okay?
Right. Okay.
Okay, honey? All right. Thanks for calling.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Okay. Do we have another caller coming in, Bill?
In just a moment.
So, interesting, when I was at the seminar for Suicide Survivor on Saturday, I was sitting with a woman who lost her son that way, and he gave me 2 names, and she didn't know who they were. And within 10 minutes of me sitting with her, her other son sent a message with one of the names her son on the other side gave me. And it turns out the woman sitting next to her had lost a child with the other name that he gave me, because sometimes when you come in from the other side, you'll bring somebody with you too, so that there's multiple messages. So within like 15 minutes, she knew what those two names were that she had no idea about when we sat down. Of course, he gave me his father's name, and he gave me a description of his grandfather and some other things that she did know. But it's very interesting. So Cheryl will have to figure out what Pat and Mary are. They're simple names. And I know we all know a Pat and Mary, but I just find it interesting because I've done readings for a long, long time, and people come back and say, this is what it was. And so sometimes when you're getting a reading and you're on the spot, you can't always think about, what's being said. So it was nice that John popped in and gave me his name, though, and his brother's name, so that Cheryl would know that he is absolutely observing her while she's going through this housing issue. So we were talking a little bit about karmic profiling, and we were talking about moving from ownership to ownership, which I appreciate very much that Debbie spoke about the 10-year period of time that she's been without her son. And although it's still difficult, that she now recognizes that she can continue to have a relationship with him
Yes.
from this
What is
side
your name,
to the other
please?
side. And that's my most important message.
Oh, Robin. Yes, I think I sent you a text, didn't I?
To know that there's life after life, that absolutely you can continue to have a relationship with your loved ones on the other side. It may be a different kind of a relationship,
Okay,
but you
great.
can still have
Okay,
that relationship.
please hold.
And
I'm
that
sorry,
it may be
Robin.
part
You
of
said
a
right,
learning
Robin.
process that both of you as souls agree to have together, and to make movement. I've talked to a couple of different parents who would not be where they are today spiritually, not that they would trade anything. I mean, they would want their kids here no matter what. That's not what I'm saying. But so they wouldn't trade that, but they do get something from that relationship between their child and themselves to move into a different arena spiritually, and to begin to understand the reality of life on this planet, which is that life on this planet is not real. Over there is real life. So I guess we have a phone call coming in.
Robin. Melinda's
Hey, Robin,
Angels.
how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Yes.
Good, Robin.
Calling
Very
for Melinda.
good. How can I help you tonight? Robin, who is it around you that has had some problems with their hip or their leg or their knee?
Okay, your name,
Well,
please.
that would be me.
Okay, what's going on with
Kathy,
that,
please
honey?
hold. Kathy, is that
Okay,
with a
what's
C
going
or
on
a
with
K?
that, Robin? It's the first thing I pick up on around you is hip,
Thank you,
leg,
Kathy.
knee stuff.
Please hold.
Well, I need a knee replacement, but I need to lose weight before I can do that. I've already had one.
Okay, but you're going to do that, Robin. I feel like you're going to do that. You've been procrastinating a little bit, yeah?
Oh, yeah.
But you know what? I think that you're at that stage right now where you're going to say to yourself, okay, enough procrastination. I'm in pain enough. I know I can do this. And so it feels like I'm going to say that you're going to wait till after the holidays. You know how we all do that when we want to lose weight. We wait till after the holidays. So I think you may wait till after the holidays, but I think that you will be able to do that, get the weight off, and get that knee fixed. Okay, that's the very first thing that I pick up on around you. And then I'm getting something about a young man. Who's the young man? Do you have a son?
Yes, I do.
Okay. And where is your son, honey?
He's here with me, actually. He lives in Tennessee, but he's here now.
Oh, okay. So he's visiting you, and that's why I pick up on him so quickly.
Yes, ma'am.
Is that what you're saying? Okay. All right. And is he the one with the uniform, or who has the uniform, military, fire, or police?
He's actually going to be a firefighter. He's going to school.
Okay. Well, tell him that he is going to be a great firefighter. I like your son's energy. He's a good kid. He's a nice young man, right?
Yes, ma'am, he is.
Yeah. What is his name, and who is David, and who has got the last name of Brown?
Well, his name is Joe, and our last name is Brow.
Thank you. Okay, sorry, I added an N to your name. Sorry, girlfriend.
Yeah.
Okay, Joe Brow. Okay, Joe. Gosh, Joe is as smart as he can be, isn't he?
Yes, he is.
Yeah, and he's got a very sweet essence. Like, he isn't going into firefighting because he wants to be a hero in his ego. He wants to be a hero because of his essence,
Yes.
because he's got a sweet essence. Like, he really wants to do
Yeah,
good
we're
work.
a little late because we started late.
That is him completely.
Yeah. Who had cancer around you guys?
Oh yeah, well it's a same one. So yeah, it's gonna go.
Well, recently my mother and her
we have
sister passed away.
one line.
Okay, and both from cancer, honey. Okay,
yeah.
I think your mother is the one
Yes.
that's going on and on about Joe.
That probably would be.
Yeah, like any good grandmother does, she's going on and on about Joe, okay? And she's very, 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 very happy to be on the other side. She's telling me she's very relieved.
Okay.
I know, honey. I'm sorry. That's hard to hear. I know.
I just it'll be 2 years next month. But usually, like, I have signs of her and cardinals and butterflies, and just at the time, like, I'm thinking something, or I wish, I could talk to her, and just lately I haven't had anything.
Oh, so don't worry about that. She just might be doing a class or something right now. Okay? And I know that sounds silly. I know it does, but I've been a medium for 25 years, and as you can tell, I've got evidence that I'm in somebody's energy field, right? So I know that sounds silly, but what happens is that we don't just work with our karmic profile while we're here on the planet. We work on it when we're on the other side too. So kind of, I guess the best way to say it to you is counseling is mandatory in heaven, and there are certain classes and stuff that we take. She just might be busy doing something right now. It doesn't mean that she's not checking in with you. In fact, I'm being told that something about your cell phone ringing and your cell phone ringing. Do you understand what she's talking about?
No.
Ah, interesting. Okay, then I'm going to say to you that you're going to get a blatant sign and have your cell phone ring with nobody there. Okay, and then there's something about amazing grace.
Okay.
And know anything about it?
Not really.
Okay. So if you hear something with amazing, in other words, she's giving you two different signs that are very blatant signs, so that not just the bird. She's giving you two things. What is her name, honey?
Her name is Jewel.
Jewell.
ELL.
And her sister's name, please.
Carol.
Oh, they're hilarious. Oh my God, Robin, they're hilarious.
They are. They're two peas in a pod.
They are hilarious, and they're kicking up their heels, and they're having a great time. I want you to write me when your cell phone rings and there's no one there. And for some reason, I think you're going to hear Amazing Grace in a weird way. Like, I don't think you're at a funeral. I don't think anything like that. I just think you're going to hear it in some kind of an odd way that is going to be a blatant sign to you, okay? Because she's still around you, darling, okay? But the Cardinals, she loves the Cardinals.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you know,
she were her favorite birds.
Yeah, and she loves birds anyway, she's telling me.
Yeah.
Okay, and she's showing me big trees. I don't know if you have big trees around your house or something with big trees.
Yes, we do. We live in South Florida, so we have some pretty big pine trees.
Oh, where are you in Florida, darling? Where?
We're west of West Palm Beach. It's a little town called Loxahatchee.
All right. Well, you know what? My mom and dad lived in Boca Raton from 1972 to like 1988 or something. Long time they lived there.
I've been there a few times.
Yep, absolutely. Now, remember I got the name David. Who is David, Davis, or Davidson?
I don't know. I don't. nobody in my immediate family that I know of with the name David.
Okay, ask Joe, since she was so much in Joe's energy field, if he's got a friend named David or Davis or Davidson, or if that's something with a teacher or trainer that he's doing, okay?
Okay.
All right. Now she's not going to stop. Okay. And now she's saying something about her feet or shoes or something with shoes. Are you a big shoe person? Was she a big shoe person?
No, neither one of us.
Okay, so she's showing me something with shoes and feet. So is there something with Joe again? His feet, his shoes?
No, not that I'm, directly aware of.
Okay, ask him what she's talking about, because she's got a lot of energy on him, okay? But she's showing me shoes, she's showing me feet, she's showing me something. Did anybody have a problem with their feet, Robin, or have any problem with their feet or wear some kind of special shoes?
No.
Okay, she's definitely showing me that, darling. Okay, so find out from Joe and write us so we can let everybody know next week, okay?
I will, definitely.
And are you one of my angels, or did you call me from Facebook?
I actually called you from Facebook.
Okay, well, you got to get on and be one of my angels, because you got really such awesome energy, Robin. But anyways, call the number next week after you talk to Joe so you can tell my angels what the hell your mother was talking about, okay?
Yeah, I'd like to know what she's talking about.
Yeah,
too.
because she nailed it with cancer. She nailed it with Joe, military, son, the last name, the hip, the knee, and then she gave us some stuff that we got to figure out. Okay, girl?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. You have a wonderful evening. Take care of yourself.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Okay, you have about 10 minutes left. We're going to run over since we had a little technical
Absolutely.
Okay.
We're going to run a little bit, 10 minutes a little bit over, because we had a little bit of hard time getting ourselves up and running, so we'll take another call.
You have tons and tons of people trying to call in.
Okay, very good.
But we have Kathy up next. So
interesting. Hey, Kathy, look, I wrote your name right here, Kathy, because somehow I felt like I was going to talk to a Kathy. Isn't that interesting? So I wrote it with a C, Kathy, so I don't know if it's a C or a K, but I wrote Cathy right there. So am I getting it yet?
Speaker?
Where am I? Right here? Kathy, are you there?
I'm here. How are you, Melinda?
I'm good. Kathy, is it with a C? Kathy with a C?
Kathy with a K.
Oh, shoot. I screwed it up when I wrote it, Kathy. Damn. Okay. All right, honey. What's your question for me tonight?
I called last week.
Oh, you did?
I couldn't hear the audio.
Oh, I know. It was so lousy, Kathy. I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
Melinda's
I just
angels.
wanted to know, you were saying, I'm going to the doctor on Friday. I wanted to know
Your name,
what they were
please.
going to decide, if they were going to do surgery or not.
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of don't want to do
I'm sorry,
it,
what was that?
but I don't want to, I'm tired of being in pain.
Mm-hmm.
Janice.
So I couldn't
Okay,
hear
Janice.
your answer.
Please hold.
Okay. All right. First and foremost, I feel like surgery should be your last alternative. But I understand being in pain because honestly, Kathy, there's no pain like it when you have a disc out or something. I mean, I get it. I've been there. But it felt to me like if you did some alternatives while you were getting yourself more prepared, I think that maybe you need to lose a little weight in order to have, yeah, because I'm feeling like it's right up. I don't know if you can see me, if you're looking at me, but yeah, it's right up. Well, it's right up in here, right?
Where?
Your surgery, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's what I'm like. That's what I'm getting, girl. And you're such a good girl. But you know what I think you do, Kath, is I think you take on everybody's stuff. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I think you take on everybody's energy, and I think you've done that from the time you were a child, even early grade school. Like, you learned what I'm going to call codependency, where you worry about everybody else and you put yourself last. And I think that it's worn on you so that now you're kind of burdened down here. I think your doctor's going to tell you that you should have the surgery. And I will tell you that if you choose to have the surgery, you will be okay. I'm not seeing anything critical, but I am seeing that the recovery would be better if you took 3 months or so to lose a little bit of weight. And maybe if you did some ulterior things like medical marijuana or acupuncture or some things like that.
Yes, I've done all that. I'm just ordered the medical marijuana after talking to you. That's the only part I heard.
Okay.
But I have done all the massage, all the acupuncture, and what's happening is when they touch me, I go completely numb in my head, and the pain is like somebody stabbing me in the back with a butcher knife, and it's up in my neck on pretty much the right side is the worst side.
Okay.
He said it basically, I think, stenosis.
Okay.
But I'm not sure.
That resonates, that it is that. I just would love to see you buy some time. However,
okay.
I get what you're saying, and I'm not a medical doctor, so let me just say that, no medium should be given medical advice because none of us are doctors, right?
Correct.
And so you need to listen to your doc. However, I do feel like if you could buy a little bit of time so you could lose a little weight, your recovery would be easier. That's what I'm trying to get at. And there might be 2 surgeries, Kat.
Right, that's what you said. Right, what's the other one?
I don't know, babe. Let me look. It might be that he does surgery and then he goes back and cleans something else out. One may be more major and the other minor.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Who is
in the same spot?
Similarly, not maybe in the exact same spot, but similarly. Let me make sure I'm in your energy field. Who is Jim or James or Jamie?
That's my husband. James is my husband.
Okay. And what is the doctor's name?
My doctor?
Yeah.
His name's Dr. It's hard to pronounce. Catholitis.
And do you know what his first name is, honey?
I think George.
That resonates. Let me look at his vibration. I do want to tell you, Kathy, that George feels like a good surgeon. I don't think he's cut happy, so that makes me feel better.
You
okay.
You think he's good or no?
I do think he's good. I don't think he's cut happy. I think, you know what I mean by a cut happy doctor? Somebody that just wants to cut you so they make money.
No, he doesn't.
Yeah, that's not George. Yeah, George is conservative, so I like that piece, okay? All right. Do you know who Paul is, honey? Paul, Pauline, Paulette, Paula?
Paula, yes. Yeah. I have a cousin Paula.
Yay. Okay, I'm in the energy field. All right, here's what I think, sweetheart. Okay, if you can buy some time to get yourself more prepared, that's what I would do. If you can't, then go for it. You will recover, and please keep me posted because I really care, and I will send you energy, positive energy.
Is there any messages from my dad?
Name?
Anything? Well, they used to call him Andy.
Mm-hmm.
His name's Bernard Anderson.
Oh, he's lovely. Andy is telling me to did Andy used to when you were a little girl, did Andy used to like squeeze your knee?
He might have. I don't remember.
He's just kind of like he's patting, he's squeezing, he's loving. He's full of love, your dad.
Yeah.
He's like a bear, he's like a teddy bear.
Yeah, I value whatever he says. That's what's very important.
He's like a teddy bear, and he wants you to know that he'll stand by. He's standing by to be with you. So you're not going to be under anesthesia without him. He will hold your hand. He will be there.
Oh boy! So then they're going to do it, right? I'm just going to ask him to give me time to lose some more weight.
Agree. I agree 100% on that. Okay. One more thing. One more name. Okay.
Go ahead, Melinda.
Louis, Louise.
Louis, my cousin Louis.
Yeah. Okay. Your dad is right here, honey. Okay. Listen, Daddy is with you. He's like a big old teddy bear. He's showing me love. Like, and he's showing me you when you were a little girl. Are you Catholic?
Yes.
Because he's showing me a rosary. Okay, so he's right there for you, okay, sweetie? And so am I energetically.
I'm confused, Melinda. Why did they would have to do 2 surgeries?
I'm confused too, and I don't know the answer to it. Okay, I really don't.
Wow.
You know, when we're, you know, the future is hard to predict anyways, Kathy. Nobody can predict the future, not even God, you know, because he gave us free will. But I'm just telling you of the possibility. So I think,
The surgery is going to be
I think that's a free will decision. But I think that the more weight you lose before the surgery, the less likely you are to have a second one.
Oh, really?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
All righty, girl.
Okay.
All right.
Absolutely.
You can wait till after the if you can wait till January, I think you'd be better.
Okay.
All right, dear. Okay. You take care of yourself. Honey. You're welcome. You're welcome, honey. You're welcome, honey. Bye bye. Okay, we have
one phone call.
Time for one more call. And I want you all to know that, you know, I'm going to be doing readings twice a month on the Angel program. And if you would get on my website, Melinda Vail at melindavail.com, and join our angels, then you can call in twice a month for readings. And also we have just wonderful shows, guests, and things about spirituality and, you know, all that kind of good stuff. So definitely give us a holler. So I'll take another caller right now.
It's Janice.
Bum, bum. Janice?
Melinda's Angels.
Yes.
How are you?
Hi, Melinda.
Hello?
How are you, Janice? Good.
Yes.
Hi,
Hello?
how are you?
I'm well. How can I help you tonight, Janice?
Well, my daughter came home from work and kind of everybody's really upset. We don't know what to do.
Oh, I can barely hear you.
To the point where I've never seen her.
Yes. What is your name,
Well,
please?
first of all, I want you to see that I wrote daughter
I'm sorry,
on my
who?
page before you mentioned her.
Linda.
So I
Linda.
just want you to know
Okay,
that I'm
Linda.
already in the energy. Okay.
I'm
What
not
is your
sure we'll
daughter's
be able
name?
to get to you this evening, but we'll see, okay?
Tracy me.
So please hold.
Okay. So, I think that Tracy will absolutely be moving in a different direction, but it doesn't feel like it's the divine right timing yet. I think that she has to withstand and take on the changes for a little bit of time. And I don't know exactly why, because I know your daughter when you give me her name, and I would carry her on my back. I love her so much if I could, but I can't, neither can you. So what we have to do is just hold space for her. And I'm going to say it's just not in the divine right timing yet for Tracy to make some movement, that there's something that she's learning about balance with all of this. And it feels to me like it will be towards May or June before there's some actual movement for her. And I think that she could manifest a situation, and I'm not saying she can manifest like on purpose. I'm just saying there could be a situation that would be manifested that would push her out before she's ready, and I don't want to see her do that. Okay. So I think that we just have to, you know, Janice, I hope you'll forgive me. I kind of feel like I'm your co-mother in certain ways, because I just love that child, and she's such a good girl, and so awesome, and never gives herself enough credit. But I feel like we just have to hold space for her right now and give her a little bit of leeway to figure some things out on her own. Does that make sense?
It does. Do you think I'll be able to do it? I have a hard time.
I do think you'll be able to do it. I know you have a hard time, but I do think you'll be able to do it, okay? There's an interesting name that's coming to me. It's Shannon. Shannon.
No.
I wonder if that's around your granddaughter, because that's kind of a young person's name, don't you think?
Yeah, I do.
So I don't know why. I'll ask Tracy when I see her, or you can ask Tracy why I got that name. But yeah, I just think our job right now is to hold space for her and the best that we can, Janice. That's what I think.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome, and thank you for calling. I look forward to seeing you soon. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Bye bye, Janice.
You've got 2 minutes left. Would you
I've
like
got
just
2
one
minutes
more?
left. Of course, I will take one more. Of course I will.
Linda.
Oh, did it come through? Hi, Linda. How are you?
Okay, how are you?
Good, good, good. How can I help you tonight?
Well, I want to see if anyone was going to come through for me.
I'm sorry, Linda. I can't quite hear you.
She needs to turn her computer down.
Yeah, turn your computer down a little bit, honey. You're echoing so that we can't hear you. So turn your computer down a little bit, okay?
Okay.
Got it?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay, good. What can I help you with tonight, my friend?
I just wanted to know if my aunt would come through.
Can't understand.
Her aunt would come through.
Oh, what's your aunt's name, darling?
Kathy.
Gabby, Linda?
No, K-A-T-H-E.
Kathy. Yeah, we have for some reason, sweetheart, we've got such a lousy connection. I'm sorry. Kathy feels more like a mother than an aunt.
Yeah, that's because she was my stepmom in the way.
Yeah, she feels more like a mother than an aunt, and like you're her precious baby is what I'm being told. Like she stepped in through dysfunction and took care of you. Does that make sense?
Well, it was more like me take care of her.
Okay. But when you were young, did she take care of you, honey?
Yeah, in a way, yeah.
Was there dysfunction in your family background, Linda?
Yes.
Where's the alcohol coming from? She's saying something about an alcohol or alcoholic or alcohol.
My uncle.
Okay. That was her husband?
No.
It was another relative, like her brother. How was he your uncle, honey? Okay. All right. So it feels to me like you guys, I'm going to put it plural, lived through some abusive energy, and that she wanted to take care of you when you were young, and then you took care of her when she was older, and kind of one hand washed the other. But it almost feels like you were a daughter rather than a niece, like you took care of her with that kind of care. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
Okay. And did your mother have some issues, honey?
Yeah, she almost died on me.
Yeah, it feels like yeah, but it feels like she has some issues, yeah? So, Kathy, there's something about a tattoo. Do you have a tattoo, Linda, or who has the tattoo?
Nobody.
Okay.
We don't like those tattoos. We don't do tattoos.
Okay, but there's something with a military, like a Navy, something with Navy, or somebody that was in the Navy that had like a, not like the kids have a tattoo, but like a Navy tattoo or something with the military. Where's that coming from?
My husband, he was in the Army for 20 years.
Okay, thank you. All right. And there's something about, do you have a brother, Linda?
I got 2 brothers.
Okay. And there's also some kind of an issue or something with one of your brothers, right, sweetheart?
No, not yet.
Well, it feels like maybe there's a little dysfunction with one of your brothers too, okay? Like maybe a relationship issue. Is your brother having a relationship issue, honey?
Oh, yeah, my oldest brother, he takes a relationship.
Yeah. She's saying something about a brother that has a relationship, and then she said somebody had alcoholic, and that somebody was in the service, and she's just telling me some stuff to give you evidence that she's talking. Her transition was made better because of you, and she's grateful to you, Linda.
Yeah, she fell in a middle cabinet and caused an aneurysm.
Okay. And she wants you to know that she's sending you pennies. Are you finding pennies places? Yeah. She wants you to know. Yeah. She wants you to know that she's finding pennies, or she's sending pennies, and that she's grateful to you. Okay, my friend?
Yeah. Is there a male figure called named Mike around me?
Mike, and who is that, sweetheart?
That was my daughter's dad.
Your daughter's dad?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to pick up the phone because I'm having trouble hearing you. I'm just going to translate to the thing. So your mic's on the other side, honey? Okay. And so sometimes he comes around your daughter, but he had some of his own personality disorder issue or some emotional immaturity and some things that he has some regret around. Do you know that, Linda? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So but he's fine, but he's not in your energy field the same way Kathy is. But I do think he spends some time dropping in to see your daughter once in a while. So, okie dokie. So join us on our angels, Linda. Where are you calling from? Oh, nice. I like that city. So, listen. I feel like there's something with your stomach. Are you having trouble with your tummy, honey, or did you ever have any problem with your kidney or bladder? Okay. What's going on with it? And she's saying yes. What's going on with it? I think you do too. I'd like you to go to the docs on that, okay? All right, Linda? And call me again, okay? Keep in touch with me on my Facebook, Melinda Vail Incorporated. I care about people. Keep in touch. Kathy's fine. Sending you pennies, okay? All right. You're welcome, Linda. Yep. Love you too, honey. Bye-bye. Okay, everybody, thank you so much for calling. Now, again, we're going to be starting to do this regularly now. We may not always do it live on Facebook. Sometimes we want to do that closed for the angels, but we did want to give you an example of what we can do with readings. Do want to remind you that Diary of a Mad Medium is coming out in November, and you'll have to get yours from Amazon after November 16th, and that there will be a DVD available for those of you who've called from other areas of the country and can't make it to the James Von Prague and Melinda Vail event. We will be having a DVD that you can purchase after the event so you won't miss out on the thing. So please get on my website, Melinda Vail, at melindavail.com. Vail is spelled V-A-I-L. And join our angels and join me every day on Facebook, Melinda Vail Incorporated, for morning musings. Thank you for joining me tonight. Have a nice night.